Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back. Well, I did promise Cinebench scores. However, there's a little hiccup with this theory here. Cinebench R23 is what we can get for Cinebench for PC. And it has not been a new build for Windows 11. So it thinks that I'm actually running Windows 10 64-bit core build 22621, and I'm actually running Windows 11. So the testing is going to be kind of a, I don't know if you call it bias or impartial or what the proper word to use for it is, but interesting. Okay. Now, with my PC, I do have the ability for overclocking on the fly. So I can, right now I've got my GPU getting all the power and my CPU not as much. So it's kind of a, they call it balanced, right? I'm not on turbo running the whole part of the processor that can crank out at over 4 gigahertz. So I'm trying to keep things, you know, as fair as possible, obviously. But we did get a score of multi-core for 10,326 points, running our 11th generation Intel Core i7, which is a -11800H processor, 8 cores, 16 threads at 2.31 gigahertz. Of course, keep in mind there are no efficiency cores here. And on the single core, we scored 1436 with a I guess it's multi-processor or MP ratio, a 7.19x. Now, that's pretty impressive scores considering this program is not Windows 11 compliant. So we get a pretty good base idea. Now, I am going to run the test again, cranking the processor right to the hilt, and we'll see what the scores differ on. So before I do that, I'm going to write stuff down, retest, and then we'll come back when the test has been done. However, on the Mac, I wanted to do a comparison on the Mac Mini. Now, both machines have 16 gigabytes of RAM, and both of them have half a terabyte SSD drives. Now, of course, the Mac Mini is also an 8-core processor, at single core being 3.2 gigahertz on the testing, and multi-core, of course, is 3 gigahertz. And as you know, 4 of those cores are efficiency cores, where the other 4 are performance cores, and we have no threads. So, in testing, the Mini scored 7,833 points multi-core to the PC at 10,326. On single core, 1522 on the Mini, which actually blew past the single core test on the PC at 1436 points, with an MP ratio on the Mac of 5.15x compared to the 7.19x. So either way, it's faster in single core than it is in multi-core on the Mac side, and the PC side is faster on the multi-core, slower on the single core. So anyway, so what we're going to do next is we're going to first I'm going to quit the program, and I guess we can just quit and we're okay. Cinebench, let's fire it back up. Okay, so it's got it logged down here, so we're okay there at 10,326. So what I want to do now is I'm going to turn this on to turbo. Now, turbo is going to put the power straight to the processor and the GPU at the same time. Let's see what happens next. So we're going to start this test, and before we do, let's just make sure that everything is in sync here. That's an important thing to make sure. So I'm going to retest, and then we'll see what happens in comparing to the Mac. So I'm going to leave the Mac up and running. I'll leave this thing going and doing its thing, and this will be instant for you guys, so we'll be right back. Alright guys, final results are in, and this is with everything in turbo mode. On the multi-core test, we actually gained a significant amount. We're at 10,960 points now on multi-core, and on single core we are at 1453. So we actually went not a whole lot of extra points actually. 1436 is what we had originally on the single core, and 1453 with turbo mode. And of course, when we compare the multi-core here, we're looking at 10,960 was our original, 10,960 is the new one. Our original was 10,326, so that is a significant gain on the multi-core side. Now our MP ratio originally was 7.55, I believe, if I can get back to this. Okay, it's down here. So 7.55 is our new test, and 7.19 was the original. So it's still lacking on single core to the Mac Mini M1, and it is definitely way faster on the multi-core side than the M1. Now that's according to Cinebench R23, which is not yet written for Windows 11, because keep in mind it does actually say Windows 10 64-bit, and I'm going to try and zoom this in so you can actually see hopefully well enough that you can see that actually says that it thinks I'm running Windows 10 64-bit build number 22621, when in fact I'm actually running Windows 11. So yeah, that's kind of the way it is. But I looked for a Windows 11 version, and unfortunately does not exist. So these test results would probably likely go into the negative side if we had a Cinebench that was Windows 11 compliant. Because with every new operating system, as you know, when improvements are made, more resources get chewed up, things are going to get obviously somewhat slower. So anyway, so that was in turbo mode. So I'm going to switch my computer back to balance because I need all the GPU performance I can actually get at this point for my gaming. But yeah, that's still, either way, that's really super impressive scores for this laptop. So if you're looking for something that is a good gaming laptop, yeah, this is definitely a really nice one for sure. And that 144 hertz refresh is definitely a huge bonus. Screen resolution, of course, is 1920 by 1080. And the screen picture quality is just right amazing. I'm really impressed with the tight pixelation. The color capabilities of the screen are just really, really nice. Okay. So anyways, we still haven't gotten anywhere near a review yet, but we're still waiting on that. And I'm not sure if I mentioned it already. I may have, but I did try out Cyberpunk, which can be a very demanding game, and it defaulted with most of its stuff in high and ultra high at the 1080p level, and the game is running absolutely flawlessly and seamlessly. No issues, no lag whatsoever. That is flippin' impressive. So anyway, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I think we're done here. We've done our testing with our Cinebench against both machines, and you've seen the results, hopefully as best as possible that we can get for these angles, but that's what we've got. And so yeah, I think that when it comes down to it, I do like the PC as far as the speed accessing goes, but I mean, I bought this thing just strictly for gaming. I don't know about video editing, how well it would handle things. I'd have to give that a try eventually, but I'm going to need something comparable program-wise to what I'm using now on the Mac to see what kind of time differences for exporting we have, that sort of thing, and we'll see where we can go from there with it. That'll be down the road further though. But in the meantime, thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, we'll definitely catch you on the next one. See ya.